Hey guys, I just wanted to pop on here and tell you a little bit about how I wrote When You Let Go and what it's about. I was going through my notes just barely to see when it was exactly that I wrote When You Let Go. I started it May 15th of 2018, so almost 2 years ago, and I finished it June 20th. So that was a very unique writing process for me, for a song to take a full month. So what happened was I was working on it really hard. Sean and I were living in Washington, D.C. at the time. He was working and I was doing a lot of gigging, playing at events, weddings and parties, and doing a lot of songwriting. It was kind of the time that I was starting my music journey, and I decided at that point that I was going to pursue music, and so I was writing a lot. Anyways, I started working on this song. I was working really hard on it, probably a couple days before I decided I would preview it for Sean. And I'm singing it for him, and I can just tell that he's not loving it. And he was trying to be nice, but he just basically told me it just was missing something. It just wasn't where it needed to be. And it was so frustrating, not because he said that, but because I knew that was the case. And after you've worked really hard on a song and to know that it's just not there, or it's not good, it's really hard and it's really frustrating. So I let it be. I kind of stopped working on it, and I didn't remember that it had been a full month. Actually, in that time frame between when I first started the song and finished it, I wrote a full other song, which is Free. The thing was, I knew that it needed to be a specific song. I knew it needed to be something special and something specific, but I didn't know what, and I didn't know how to get it there, and I just didn't have the energy to go back and figure it out, I guess, until apparently mid-June. Actually, I was just listening to my voice memos. It's where I kind of record the process of my songs when I'm writing them. I was listening to the first version, which is so completely different from what it ended up being, and it was called Let Go. And it was this like quirky, upbeat song that sounded like a Garth Brooks song that I don't even like. And I remember thinking that at the time, which is why I was just like really sad, and I was like, goodbye song. Anyway, so I went back and I worked on it, trying to find it. And for me, songwriting, in my experience, is kind of just like discovering the song that is already there. It's like it just needs to show itself, and you have to work at it until it finally does. So one of those nights, Sean came home from work, and I sang it for him, and he just cried, and I cried, and I knew that it was where it was supposed to be. And it just became my favorite song that I had written, because from that point on, I used it a lot as a refuge. Anyways, that's a little bit about how I wrote it. What it's about is about letting go, obviously. I mean, it's very straightforward in its meaning and its lyrics, but it came from the things that I learned in my mental health battle. When I was in some of the toughest times during battling mental illness, I met a friend who became a dear friend, kind of saved me a lot of times. Her name was Jill, and she'd been through exactly what I had been through about 10 years prior, and so she helped me through it, and she would always tell me to let go, even though it felt counterproductive to let go of these thoughts. Let them be there. Any thought is okay to be in your head. As a whole, as humans in general, we want to make things right. We want to fix things. We want to make things go away. And I wanted that so badly. These thoughts were so difficult, so painful. It'd been a long time coming. I'd been struggling with this and suffering for years, since 2010. And I finally was able to implement that. It wasn't easy. It took a long time. It took a lot of practice. It wasn't like a quick fix, but I learned that letting go and also not believing in those thoughts, not buying into them, not giving them energy, not caring about them, and realizing they're just thoughts. define you. They're not truth. And when you have a mental malfunction in your brain, it can be really hard because those thoughts are very strong and very scary. And those concepts truly saved me. They saved my life. They changed the way I think. They changed the way I live. And I was able to finally find myself again. I really wanted to write a song about that. And so yeah, that's what When You Let Go is about. Anyways, thanks for listening, and I just love you guys.